we're going to talk about Oregon State just a little bit, but more of their quarterback that transferred from Clemson. We're going to talk about DJ. He transferred from Clemson to go to Oregon State, which shocked some going from a program, no offense to Oregon State, but going from a program like a Clemson over to Oregon State, I think it shocked a lot of people. Clemson, they lost, I believe it was 2 games, 3 games. He personally wasn't playing 100% well. He didn't have horrible, horrible numbers, but he ultimately just decided that it was time for him to go. He got benched uh, late in the season, near the very end. And so it was just time for him to go. Now, I think if he would have stayed with the new offensive coordinator hired from TCU over to Clemson, that they could have done something special. But he decided to go to Oregon State. But he was asked about this and came out with this quote that we're going to share on the screen that he was asked about, going to Oregon State, and he decided to come out and talk a little bit about Clemson. So I need everybody to decide if this is shots fired at Clemson. He said, I didn't want to do what I was doing at Clemson. I didn't really like what we did there scheme wise. I didn't think we did very much. I thought it was very basic. It didn't help me out as a quarterback and play to my strengths. I wanted to go somewhere that would play to my strengths and go somewhere that would develop me for the NFL. Play action, work under center, throw the deep ball. So, is this quote a shot at Clemson? Absolutely, it is because he says it. Like, I didn't like what we were doing at Clemson. So it's a shot a little bit at Dabo Sweeney and the offense. Now they have a new offensive coordinator. There's going to be some changes there at Clemson. They're going to be much better than they were last year. But also, DJ is sitting there saying, well, they didn't play to my strengths. Some believe this and some don't. Now, DJ has talked about, his dad played. People like him, very respectable person. You have to wonder, is he saying this to try to hide the fact that they lost 2 or 3 games? He did not play bad. The first time you saw him really play was in that Notre Dame game, and he threw for 400 some yards. The play calling at the end is what lost him that game. Is this a way to hide any of his shortcomings, saying, I want to go to a place that's going to get me ready for the NFL? Oregon State went 10-3 last year, 6-3 in their conference, and they played really well. And in their bowl game, they beat Florida. I think Oregon State is turning a corner, and I love to see it. Love to see it. So everything here is not about Oregon State. I think everybody is a Oregon State fan. I loved watching them play. I love seeing what they were doing. So I got to watch parts of the spring game. They do look good. They have good receivers. They have a fast running back. And I think DJ can bring something to the table there. So none of this whatsoever is talking about Oregon State. I think they could do well, like, once again, in the Pac-12. I firmly believe that. I love their head coach. I would love to talk about that, to love to talk to them. Pardon me. But this is about DJ and his comments. Are these comments to hide the fact of him not getting it done at Clemson? Maybe he couldn't handle the pressure at Clemson. Or is there some truth to maybe what they were running on offense? Probably. But it's hard-fetched for me to believe that Coach Sweeney and the offensive coaches at Clemson at that level would not look at DJ and say, what are his strengths? It's hard for me to believe that. Now, maybe he's not a spread quarterback, and maybe they didn't adjust to exactly what he wants to do. But I also think standing there, you won 10 games. Are you saying these things to try to hide that you got benched? Are you saying these things to try to make you feel better? Possibly. Now, the things I hear about DJ and you read about, this may not be true, but it's just a weird thing to come out and say those things about the school you left to. He could have easily said, hey, I feel like I was going to fit in the offense at Oregon State, very well, and that's why I decided to come here. We did good things at Clemson. He could have said things differently because they did play action at Clemson. They don't work under center at Clemson, but they did try to have you throw the ball deep at Clemson. Clemson wants to run the football. And so it comes down to these colleges are there to help you get ready for the NFL, but I don't believe in that these college coaches need to change everything they do to make you ready for the NFL. They're going to work, they should work on things to get you ready, but a part of them to keep their job is to win, especially with all this transfer portal things. That's a part of it as well. So if they were, we don't really know what happened behind closed doors, but I think DJ needs to be careful making these type of comments because is this because you didn't get it done? Is it that the comment it was too basic? I think you would want the offense to be easy. I think, and if you were making mistakes in a basic offense, what's it going to look like when you're in a more complex one? Checking the stuff at the line, understanding a lot more things. Now you're under center. So now you have to worry about getting back, like those type of things. And so I wonder why these comments are being made now. Who knows? But those were comments. So, to leave up to your own opinion and idea about what you interact or what you take away from this type of comment here. Um, you could go either way with it. I'm still uncertain. I feel like he's trying to hide how they didn't get it done at Clemson, but I also have read a lot of good things about him. So maybe he was just saying, "Hey, I went there. The spread offensive stuff's not for me. I'm a big guy. I'm a big quarterback. I'm like a Ben Roethlisberger, so I need to be under center. I need to be able to get the ball to the running back and maybe I have to go through progression. I don't know Clemson's offense 100%. Is it more of a hey, just read this person instead of a progression? Is it more and he said it's very basic, so maybe it was so basic that the defenses read it better. I have no clue. You'd really have to sit there and watch all the Clemson film. You'd really have to know exactly what they were doing. So you come up with your own opinion on this, but I thought it was just an interesting thing to talk about. But watching the parts of the Oregon State spring game, I think they're poised to have another big year, but he has to play well because they have playmakers. They look fast. They have fast running backs. And so if they can be confident and do the thing and do it again like they did last year, Oregon State's going to do well. So none of that was on Oregon State, but they're going to do well.